fear is one of the most fundamental and powerful human emotions. Rooted in our survival instinct, fear acts as a natural response to perceived threats or danger, whether real or imagined. It prepares our body and mind to respond through the well-known fight, flight, or freeze reaction. At its core, fear is not always harmful. In fact, it plays a vital role in keeping us safe by alerting us to risks and helping us make quick decisions in dangerous situations. However, when fear becomes excessive, irrational, or persistent, as in the case of phobias, anxiety disorders, or traumatic memories, it can interfere with daily life and well-being. Fear can be triggered by external events, internal thoughts, or even anticipated future scenarios. It is experienced physically, like a racing heart or sweating, emotionally, like panic or dread, and cognitively, worry or negative thoughts. Understanding fear, its causes, its effects, and its role in our mental processes is essential for developing resilience, emotional regulation, and psychological health. With awareness and the right tools, fear can be managed, and in many cases, transformed into courage and personal growth.
Fear is your body's built-in alarm system, alerting you to danger, real or imagined. It's a powerful emotion that can surge through you in an instant, sometimes before you even realize what's happening. Whether it's the jolt you feel when you hear a loud crash in the night, or the unease that creeps in before a big decision, fear is always working behind the scenes to keep you alert. It's not a weakness, but a survival instinct that's helped humans endure for millennia. Our ancestors relied on fear to avoid predators, navigate unknown environments, and make quick decisions that could mean the difference between life and death. This ancient response is still hardwired into us today, shaping how we react to the world around us. When you sense a threat, your mind and body prepare you to act, either to fight or to flee. Your heart races, your muscles tense, and your senses sharpen, all in a split second. This automatic reaction is known as the fight or flight response, and it's designed to give you the best chance of survival. This response isn't limited to physical threats. It can be triggered by emotional or social challenges, like public speaking or worrying about loved ones. Even the fear of embarrassment or failure can activate the same internal alarm, making your palms sweat and your mind race. Fear is universal. Everyone experiences it, though the sources may differ. No matter where you're from or what you believe, fear is a thread that runs through every human life, connecting us across cultures and generations. A child might fear a mythical creature, while an adult might fear losing a job, but the core feeling is the same. The situations may change as we grow, but the sensation of fear, tightness in the chest, racing thoughts, a desire to escape, remains familiar. This shared experience connects us all, reminding us that fear is a fundamental part of being human. It's something we all face, and something we can help each other through. At its core, fear is a message. Pay attention, be careful, and prepare for a challenge. It's your mind's way of urging you to slow down, assess the situation, and make thoughtful choices, even when your instincts are telling you to run. It's a protective mechanism, refined by evolution to keep us safe. Animals in the wild rely on fear to survive, just as we do. And this instinct has been passed down through countless generations. While fear can feel overwhelming, its main purpose is positive, to protect you. It's a signal that something matters, that you care about your safety, your loved ones, or your future. By learning to listen to fear without letting it control us, we gain insight into our emotions. We can start to understand what triggers our fears and how to respond in healthier ways. We can manage fear, turning it from a source of distress into a source of strength. Facing our fears, even in small ways, builds confidence and resilience over time. Understanding fear's universality is the first step to mastering it. When we realize we're not alone, it becomes easier to talk about our fears and seek support. It's not about eliminating fear, but learning to work with it. Courage isn't the absence of fear, but the willingness to move forward despite it. With awareness, fear becomes a tool for growth, not just a barrier. By embracing fear and understanding its purpose, we can use it to propel ourselves toward new experiences and greater self-discovery. When fear strikes, your brain's amygdala acts as a threat detector, instantly scanning your environment for any sign of danger. This tiny almond-shaped region deep in your brain is always on the lookout, working behind the scenes to keep you safe. even before you're fully aware of what's happening. If the amygdala senses a threat, it quickly triggers the hypothalamus, which acts like a command center. The hypothalamus then signals your adrenal glands to flood your body with adrenaline and cortisol, the primary stress hormones that prepare you to react. These powerful hormones launch the fight or flight response, priming your body for immediate action. Your senses sharpen, and your body gets ready to either confront the threat or escape from it as quickly as possible. Your heart pounds faster, breathing becomes rapid and shallow, pupils widen to take in more light, and muscles tense up, all to maximize your chances of survival in a dangerous situation. This response is automatic and incredibly powerful, designed by evolution to help us survive real, immediate danger, like escaping a predator or avoiding an accident. But in our modern world, the same ancient system can be triggered by non-physical threats, such as work stress, social anxiety, or even worrying about the future. Our bodies react as if we're facing a wild animal, even when the danger is just a looming deadline, a difficult conversation, or a crowded room. That's why fear and anxiety feel so physical. Your body is responding to a threat, even when the danger isn't actually life-threatening. Understanding this mind-body connection helps us see why calming our bodies is so important for managing fear. Simple techniques like deep breathing, meditation, or grounding exercises can help signal to your brain that you're actually safe. The fight or flight system is ancient, but our world has changed dramatically. Today, most of our threats are psychological, not physical. Sometimes we need to remind our brains and our bodies that we're actually safe, and that it's okay to relax. Managing fear means learning to soothe both mind and body, using tools like mindfulness, self-reflection, and supportive relationships. Awareness is the first step to regaining control. By understanding your body's response, you can start to take charge of your fear and move forward with confidence. Fear isn't just a reflex, it's shaped by our thoughts. The stories we tell ourselves about a situation can turn a neutral event into a source of anxiety. For example, walking down a dark street feels different if you think, "I'm in danger," versus "I'm safe here." Phobias and anxiety disorders show how thoughts can magnify fear, making harmless things seem terrifying. Anxiety often comes from imagining worst-case scenarios, keeping our brains on high alert. The fear isn't always about what's happening now, but what might happen. Changing our fear response often means changing our thinking. Therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy help us challenge irrational thoughts and replace them with balanced ones. If you fear public speaking, reframing "everyone will judge me" to "it's okay to be nervous" can reduce anxiety. Our minds can create fear, but they can also help us overcome it. By shifting our perspective, we gain more control over our emotions. Many of the fears we carry with us are not present from birth. They are learned through our experiences as we grow. While some fears are instinctive, most are shaped by what happens to us and how we interpret those events. This process, known as conditioning, is how our minds link neutral things, like a harmless object or a place, to frightening or unpleasant events, making us feel afraid even when there's no real danger. The famous Little Albert experiment from the 1920s is a classic example. In this study, a young child was exposed to a white rat, which he initially liked. But when the rat was paired with a sudden loud noise, Albert quickly learned to associate the rat with fear. Soon, just seeing the rat, without any noise at all, was enough to make Albert cry and recoil in fear. The fear had become automatic. This experiment shows how fear can become attached to things that are actually harmless, simply through association and repeated pairing with something scary. In real life, a child who is bitten or frightened by a dog may develop a deep, lasting fear of dogs, even if most dogs are friendly and safe. Sometimes this fear spreads beyond the original trigger. Albert, for example, became afraid of other furry objects, like rabbits and even a fur coat, not just the white rat. This is called generalization, when fear extends to things that are similar in appearance or texture, even if they were never part of the original scary event. Fears can also develop from repeated negative experiences, not just a single traumatic event. If someone faces the same stressful situation over and over, fear can become deeply rooted. For example, a student who is often criticized or embarrassed by a teacher may start to fear the classroom itself, dreading school even if nothing bad happens that day. Our brains are powerful at linking feelings to places, objects, and even people, creating conditioned responses that can last for years if not addressed. The good news is that learned fears are not permanent. With effort and support, they can be unlearned and replaced with new, positive associations. New, positive experiences, like gentle encounters with dogs or supportive moments in class, can help overwrite old, fearful memories and build confidence. Exposure therapy uses this principle, gradually and safely helping people face their fears in small steps, so the brain learns there's nothing to fear. With time, patience, and practice, the brain can relearn and realize that the threat is gone, and the fear no longer controls us. Fear, once learned, can be dismantled, giving us the freedom to move forward with courage and hope. Fear often builds through direct experience and repetition. A single traumatic event, like being trapped in an elevator, can turn a neutral object into a fear trigger. But fear can also develop slowly, through many small negative experiences. For example, repeated criticism in school can make the classroom a place of anxiety. Our brains are experts at linking feelings to environments. If you panic in a crowded mall, you might start fearing malls in general. This is how fears like agoraphobia develop. Not from the place itself, but from the feelings experienced there. Understanding that fear is learned is empowering. If it can be learned, it can be unlearned. Exposure therapy helps by gradually facing the feared situation, teaching the brain it's safe. Each positive experience weakens the old fear connection. Over time, new associations replace the old ones. Fear is not permanent, it can be rewritten. Change is possible one step at a time. We don't have to experience fear firsthand. We can learn it by watching others. This is called observational learning. If a child sees a parent panic at a mouse, the child may fear mice too, even without a bad experience. Society and media also shape our fears. News and movies can make the world seem scarier than it is, planting seeds of anxiety. Cultural stories and traditions teach us what to fear, from public failure to supernatural forces. These fears are passed down through families and communities. What we fear is shaped by our environment as much as by our own experiences. Fear is not just personal, it's social and cultural. By understanding where our fears come from, we can start to question them. Not all fears are truly our own. The Little Albert experiment is a classic example of how fear can be conditioned. Psychologists Watson and Rayner showed a baby a white rat, which he liked at first. But when they paired the rat with a loud, scary noise, Albert began to fear the rat. After a few pairings, just seeing the rat made him cry and try to escape. The fear spread. Albert also became afraid of other furry objects, like rabbits and even a Santa mask. This showed that fear can generalize to similar things. The experiment proved that fear can be learned through association. It also revealed how quickly and deeply these fears can take root. Our experiences can shape our deepest emotions, sometimes for life. But if fear can be learned, it can also be unlearned. Understanding this gives us hope for change. Overcoming fear starts with understanding its roots. Ask yourself, did this fear come from a specific event, from watching someone else, or from gradual exposure? Once you know the source, you can begin to face it, slowly and safely. Use gradual exposure. Start with the easiest step, then work your way up. Each small success builds confidence. Challenge the negative thoughts that fuel your fear. Replace catastrophic thinking with realistic, balanced thoughts. For example, remind yourself that flying is safe, or that it's okay to be nervous. Relaxation techniques, like deep breathing, help calm your body's fear response. Inhale slowly, hold, and exhale. This signals safety to your brain. Mindfulness and muscle relaxation can also help. The key is patience and persistence. Step by step, you can retrain your mind and body. Building confidence is essential for overcoming fear. Celebrate small victories. Each one proves you're stronger than your fear. Don't face fear alone. Support from friends or family makes a big difference. Sharing your fears can make them feel less overwhelming. A supportive network acts as a safety net as you step outside your comfort zone. For deep or persistent fears, professional help is invaluable. Therapists can guide you with proven techniques like CBT and exposure therapy. Professional support accelerates progress and provides lifelong tools. Resilience is built over time. Fear becomes a messenger, not an enemy. By understanding its roots and triggers, you can listen to fear without letting it control you. With the right tools and support, you can manage fear and live more bravely. Fear doesn't have to hold you back. It can help you grow.
And if you found this video interesting, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more mind-blowing psychology videos.